The US intelligence chief has warned that Russia and Iran are planning a long-term presence in Syria and are securing rights to set up military bases. Daniel Coates says the YPG also want some form of autonomy, but face resistance from Russia, Iran and Turkey. 3 weeks ago, Turkey launched an operation to flush out YPG terrorists on its border from the Afrin region. The military says nearly 1,500 terrorists have been neutralized. Well, Hasan Basri Yalcin is an associate professor of political science and international relations at Istanbul Ticaret University. He joins us now from Istanbul. Thank you so much for your time. First off, the US and Russia, the US says Russia and Iran are planning a long-term presence in Syria, but surely Washington is planning the same thing. What's your take on that?
Yeah, actually, these are hardly surprising news. For a long time, people observing most of the owners of property that they are going to stay more than expected. Nobody has an intention of leaving Syria earlier than expected. Neither the United States nor Russians nor Iranians are planning to leave Syria early. In order to forecast that, I don't need to be a chief of intelligence service. For people observing Syria quite some time can easily predict that the war, this proxy war, turned into something of attrition war. So everybody just plans to stay for a long time here.
Hasan, what do you think Turkey's long-term vision for Syria is?
Actually, Turkey's vision of Syria changed according to the circumstances in Syria. At the early stage of Syrian war, Turkey was supporting the democratization movement. But for a long time, it has become unsustainable policy for Turkey anymore because most of its classical allies did not provide enough support for Turkey in following a policy of democratization. Under these circumstances, I can imagine that Turkey just follows a policy of Syrian integration. The main concern of Turkey is that Syrian political unity should be preserved more than anything else. Turkey deserves that. And Syrian territory should be free of any kind of terrorist organizations. I believe this is the best option for Turkey in the long run.
But surely if we're saying that the US, Russia and Iran all want a long-term presence in Syria, does Turkey want the same thing, do you think? Or is Turkey exempt and looking only for Syrian integration?
The main priority for Turkey is firstly cleaning up its own border. For that reason, it started the Afrin Shield operation, and secondly, it started the Olive Branch operation. And as you can easily see, these are close border areas of Turkey. And first of all, Turkey in the short term will plan to clean up all these areas. But what will happen later on will probably depend on mostly the other players in Syrian case. Without the clear understanding of what American foreign policy is going to be built on in Syria, I don't believe that Russians, Iranians, or Turkey will decide about their own final policy outcomes. They will just follow what the United States do, and they will react according to that plan. But for right now, for sure, we do not have any clear idea what the U.S. is planning to do in Syria.
Certainly a lot of moving parts. Thank you so much for your analysis. That's Hasan Basri Yalcin, an associate professor of political science and international relations.